Welcome back to the vlog, everybody, and today we have a little side quest adventure where we're going to take some parts in to get powder coated. What color, you ask? Well, it's going to match the powder coat on the lower control arms of this truck. Before we jump into the vlog, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's vlog, and that's Hammerbuilt. They were instrumental in helping me get to the next phase of what I wanted to do with this PreLander build, and I can't thank them enough. So, if you want to learn more about Hammerbuilt, go check them out.
You can visit hpbuilt.shop or follow the link in the description below to check out their website. Find mods on a multitude of off-road trucks, including the Bronco and Raptor. Check out lighting if you want to have the lumens of 1,000 suns like me, and you can also upgrade your suspension for tougher terrain, or choose from a multitude of other mods and gear. Hammerbuilt at hpbuilt.shop.
What we have here is a new apparatus, new goods, if you will, all the newest mods going on the Raptor pretty soon. This is a torque arm and rear diff plating for the Raptor. And what this is going to do is plant that back end a little nicer, prevent axle wrap, and also protect that rear diff. It also is pretty cool that I can color match it to my front lower control arms, because this is also from the same purveyors of those lower control arms, Krazy House Customs, making pretty epic stuff for Raptors. And I know there are a couple other options out there for basically doing the same thing. One thing I can think of are track bars that you could put under the truck. And I went with this option because this gave me more ground clearance, which, as I'm more of a PreLander and not a full-on pre-runner, I thought the ground clearance might be beneficial for me. So yeah, that's why I went this way. And I like the idea of plating out and protecting that rear diff as well. Okay, now I have to pack this sucker up and take it across town to the powder coating place, and I have about an hour and 20 minutes to get there before they close in the middle of rush hour. Here we go. And we've been magically whisked away to southeast Portland to Portland Powder Coat, where I've dropped off the parts for powder coat here, and they're going to be color matched to the color of the lower control arms on my Raptor, which is like Smurf blue, illusionary Smurf blue. It's a blue. I like blue. So it's going to take a while for them to do it, so we'll probably come back to this when they're done. And we've been magically whisked away to Nick's driveway, where we're doing an oil change on the Raptor. And Nick is in a lovely peachy mood as always.
I will end you. So, fun times at the OK Corral. The one factory skid plate, you have your nose plate, and then you have your engine skid plate, and then you have a transmission skid plate. The engine skid plate, that banging thing, unfortunately has two bolts that go directly into the front subframe, the front crossbar of the the front frame of the truck. This is the bar that holds your control arms in, everything else. Well, what they attach the nuts to inside the frames, they're not very good. So now, we had one that had torn loose. We knew that. It tore loose during some off-roading adventure. The other side just tore loose, which means now I have to sawzall them off, fish the pieces out, and riv nut in new chunks. Fun times to do an oil change. It chewed the teeth straight off of it.
Wrecking bar.
Unfortunately, you can only cut so far through these things down here at a reasonable angle, so forgive me, hardware, for I'm about to sin. That one was going to be easy. This is the one that's going to be fun. Bolt. And the other one's around here somewhere. It's in the pile of Land Rover parts. It'll be fine.
What are you doing there, Nicholas?
So, lubing the oil ring when putting in a fresh oil filter. Normally I would fill it with oil, although this one goes in sideways, so that's just going to waste oil. But I'm lubing the oil ring so it doesn't stick and melt to the block or cause problems later in life. Now the oil filter goes back in, and Ford's lovely drain system completely missed. Thanks, guys. Tighten it hand tight and give it as good a turn as you can. It's the next guy's problem getting it out.
You are the next guy.
Yes.
Gotta love that purple motor oil.
We're doing the rear diff fluid too while doing the oil change. We did this 35,000 miles ago.
Ish.
Something like that in when we installed the rear diff cover. So makes it easier because it's got a drain plug and a fill plug.
And you'll see these little bits of stuff that came out on the drain plug. It's got a magnet on it. Most people would panic. However,
You're not most people, we know, Nick.
it's rubber and goo. That's actually leftover gasket material from when we put the thing in.
So if anybody's ever going to suggest a mod to do to your Ford truck, put one of these Performance or another aftermarket diff cover on them with a drain plug. The factory does not have a drain plug, which means the only way to do this job on the factory one is undo all those bolts, take this whole goddamn thing off. And then they're messy, and it's hard to clean, and it's a pain. This means you can actually work on your truck without having to take everything apart. Just so we don't waste bottles, put a hose on the end of it. Oh, you can squeeze it up right side or upside down, and it drains a lot better. More fluid means more cooling. More cooling means better running diff.
New mechanic on the job here, checking the undercarriage. Oh, doesn't like what she sees. Running away.
All right, for all of you mouth breathers just absolutely waiting to hammer us away in the comments section, let's go over one little thing. No, we did not skip the front diff. We did not do the front diff because at somewhere around 50 or 56,000 miles, Ford had to do timing chains on this particular truck. So they replaced gaskets, timing chains, and a bunch of other stuff. One of the things they do when they do that is remove the front diff. And included in that service was front diff fluid. So I don't have to do it. Now my hair's everywhere and I smell like sulfur. God, I hate gear oil smell. Till next time, kiddos.
Okay, we're back at Portland Powder Coating to pick up the finished products for my rear diff armor and the torque arm that I got here to get all done and powder coated with that illusionary Smurf blue color that matches my front suspension. I'm also wearing my gym clothes today because multitasking. So let's go check out what those look like. And here we are checking out the freshly powder coated rear diff armor and torque arm. Okay, now we have a Ford Focus RS trunk full of truck parts, and I had to put my seat down for that torque bar, but this powder coat looks pretty good, and it matches my front suspension, which is pretty nifty. Super excited to get this installed. And we made a brief stop to check on Mr. Fancy Pants and his Fancy Pants new shop. Hey, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What's up, buddies?
How do you like the new shop?
Welcome to the new and slightly less improved Emporium of Oddities and Miscellaneous Things. So, we have an actual rotary brand rotary lift, 2 posts, 9,000 pounds. Now, this thing will technically get the Raptor off the ground, but not far. Because of the ceiling. We do not have a proper ceiling height. C'est la vie, c'est la va. But, we have a circuit breaker in the back. I don't know what it does. It's got holes in it and stuff. It's only a little sketchy. But we do have very good lighting, and we have the beast. It is back. We finally have most of my tools in one place. This is the pile of broken. These are what I've broken in the last few weeks.
This is why we can't have nice things, Nicholas.
This is why we can't have nice things, but we can have my frickin' toolbox back. Got our bad Wookiee plate and the newest edition, Captain Calamari. It's a trap. Woo-wee! Crispy. Ooh. That Smurf blue came out nice. And this, kids, is gonna last about 5 minutes.
We might want to hit it with some extra clear coat.
By extra, you mean about 10 layers, and it's still gonna last about 5 minutes. I know how you drive. But that is our skid plate. It's not gonna dent, it's just not gonna have powder coat left on it when we're done. That is a beefy bastard.
Well, then I know I'm using my truck right at least.
Yep. Beast. So this is the actual torsion bar itself that's gonna go from differential up to frame. And it threads in right there and lock pins. This is the slidey bit. And this is the bit that it slides into. They did a really good job.
Yeah,
They always do.
tape that off because you're not supposed to powder coat the whole thing.
Yep. Now this company always does a great job. So, welcome to the humble abode. Sorry for the obnoxious cars. It's 82nd Avenue.
Nick!
Goodbye forever. Don't forget me, Rose. Don't forget me.